Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Hadi Arianto, one of the project management lecturer at TELKOM University. I will presenting project schedule management to explain how project schedule management play important role in project management course. Let me share my slide. All right. Okay. The learning objective of this course is, we can see from the list above, we expect that students can understand the importance of project schedule, can define activities, make use of network diagram to determine the dependencies among activities, and make the right sequencing. And then we expect students to understand the relationship between estimating the resources and schedules. And also we will explain various tools and techniques to help students estimating activity duration and developing project schedules. For example, using Gantt chart for both planning and tracking schedule information. As future project manager, students should understand that project schedule may change because of many issues, including people, customer, business processes. Therefore, it is important to understand how to control and manage changes. So why a project schedule is important? It is because time is a limited resource and has the least amount of flexibility. Most of the time, schedule issues are the source of conflicts among project stakeholders. These are the overall project schedule management processes you would learn in this course, from plan, define activities, sequencing, estimate resources, duration, develop schedule, and how to control it. Each stage has input, many tools or technique you can use, and expected outcome in each stage. Usually, the output of the previous stage become an input for the next stages. If you can understand key concepts and keywords in each process, it means you have mastered this course and you will be fine. Okay, the first step is to define an overall schedule management plan. In this stage, you need to establish policies, procedures, and documentation for planning, developing, managing, executing, and controlling the project schedule. I will use car manufacturing process, for example. You can find a brief explanation about car manufacturing explained by Upschool on YouTube. Suppose you are a new project manager here. First, you should understand the business processes and how to manufacture cars in the company. Understand the policies about financial aspect, human resources, reporting, and stakeholder, and who should you report to as your playground. In order to make a good schedule management plan, you should understand enterprise environmental factor and organizational business process. This information can be combined with project management plan and project charter that you may have created before. Next, you should define key activities based on work breakdown structures you have created before. You can break down big tasks into more detailed tasks. If you are dealing with a new project, You may know very little about the detailed tasks for the whole project period. Don't worry, you can use rolling wave planning. You may start the decomposes the first phase here into more detailed activities. And let's say for the first 3 months of project period, you may understand who are you going to do, what are you going to do. In the next stage, you can break down other phases of project if you already understand what is the typical detailed project activities. You can do it later. For car manufacturing, you may get work breakdowns activities from a professional consultant. For example, this is just an example. Car manufacturing consists of two big tasks, namely body assembly, and second one is powertrain for developing car machines, electronics, and interiors. The output of these works from body assembly and powertrain it will make the factory can do final assembly and do shipping to the car retailer. How we can define activities here? So based on the processes before, we can make an outline of the task activities. Let's say A for metal forming, C paint and coatings, H assembly and testing, and I final assembly, J and shipping. And then we can fill the Gantt chart later on, such as predecessor, duration, months, and etc. The next activities, you need to sequence all those previous activities and determine dependencies among them. In the course, you will learn several techniques to do so. For example, using resident diagram method or PDM and other method. Based on this method, you can see whether a particular task is late or lags relatively compared to other tasks. This is just example of the PDM method. There are activity A, we can identify when the activity should be started and when it should be finished and etc. And we can find the dependency in between task A, B, and C. Let's see, we implement this dependency to our Gantt chart. So this is our Gantt chart based on the information taken from consultant. We know the predecessor of each task, and we put all of them here. You can draw a diagram network to illustrate the dependency. For example, paint and coating can only be done after coat and wash activity is completed. As can be seen from the table, the final assembly here, task I, can be performed if task C and H have been finished. So we now have the predecessors. And then move to the estimate activity resource. Before estimating activity duration, you must have a clear idea of the numbers of people you have, equipment, and materials are required to perform each task. Activity duration is dependent on the numbers of people, tools, and working hours. For example, if we know that one engineer can only make a wheel per day, then we need 4 days to finish 4 wheels to support a car. Or in another term, we need 4 man days to produce 4 wheels. Of course, if you want to speed up the wheel production for only 2 days, it means you need 2 engineers or 2 engineers time for 2 days, which also produce 4 man days. This is the basic idea of estimating the resources, including people, equipment, and material. And move to next activity within project scheduling process. We need to estimate activities duration. We need to identify activity duration with many techniques, including expert judgment. You can talk with your expert, with your consultant maybe. You can use 3-point estimation, or you can invite your team member from each department to do group discussion, making techniques, and etc. You will study this individual technique in the course. Duration is actual amount of time worked and reflect how much effort we need to complete a task, which is equal to man days, or man hours, or man months. You can use whatever you like, depending on the nature of your project. Now, we can, here in Gantt chart, we already put the duration. Metal forming, it took maybe 3 months. Paint coating 1 month, final assembly 1 month. This is as the result of activity defining duration of our activities. And then if we already got schedule management plan, activity list, activity resource requirement, activity duration, now we can make a project schedule. We can use many techniques to develop schedule, including using critical path analysis, schedule compression, and etc. You will learn from the course materials and references. The output of this process, we will have a project schedule baseline, calendar, when we should start a particular activity and when we should finish this part. And then we try to apply to our Gantt chart. So for example, metal forming, we can start from month 0 to month 2. And then in the 3rd month, we can do e-coat and wash and pad coating. And then in parallel, we do metal working and we purchase component from outsource and then allowing us to do part washing and then another outsource component so we can do assembly and testing for electronic or machine completely in our factory. After these 2 activities has been done, and then we can do final assembly and then shipping. This is the dependencies. It's about A, B, C, and C, and D, E, F, G, H, I, and G. If we use backward path analysis from the end of the project and backward, we can see there are 3 tasks that can have a maximum of 2 months slacks. In this case, for example, either task A can delay 1 month or task C can delay another 1 month. So in maximum, for task A, B, C, we have enough room. If something happens, we can delay maximum 2 months without affecting the overall project delivery. This is, we call it 3 tasks have total stack 2 months. However, for the other tasks, there are about 7 tasks indicated with red relationship. We consider this path as critical path. Means delay in this path will affect to the project completion. So as project manager, we have to be careful in dealing with this critical path. Okay, and next, based on this forward path analysis, we can understand that this project can be done after month 7. Yeah. However, for example, in car manufacturing, the objective is to minimize idle capacity and reduce waste of resources, either people, material, equipment, and spaces, room for warehousing, for example. This principle is called just-in-time lean manufacturing, which is widely adopted by car manufacturing, including Toyota, Mitsubishi, and BMW. If we want to implement just-in-time lean manufacturing, this can be achieved in the industry where robots are utilized and supported by automation of production processes. So the objective here is to minimize idle resources. We can optimize the project completion for up to 5 months only. We save 2 months. Of course, we need to have to modify some tasks to start earlier, such as task E and task G that can be started as soon as metalworking has been started for 1 month, or whatever they like. And the baseline here, both task D and E should be finished just before task F. The same thing can be applied for task G. Task G can be started as soon as metalworking has been finished, so they can procure electronic equipment, radio, for example, from the other factory, so that they can assembly and testing as part of task G. So both task E and G can be started in parallel with other tasks, so that we can save 2 months here, and at the end we have very lean processes. There are 2 critical parts here, and they should be performed in very disciplined way, so that the project can be finished after 5 months. Okay, this is another example. We can make a Gantt chart for a software launch project, for example. So you can do a similar processes to apply project schedule management principle to this project or another project you may want to use. You can find list of activities here, list of activities. You can find the schedule, dependencies with the bars here, with the arrow here. You can find the milestone with dots here. It is called milestone. Milestone is basically a significant event that normally has no duration. So, for example, project kickoff can be considered as milestone in starting of a project. Mail beta copies of the software can be considered as milestone. So from this point, we can monitor our project whether it's performed according to the plan or delay or ahead of the schedule. This is very important for project manager to use any software tool like Microsoft project so that they can plan and monitor the schedule and so that they can adjust whatever they like in order to cope with the reality in the implementation of the project. So how are we going to control our project schedule? So basically we have project management plan, we have project schedule, work performance data, project calendar, and organization process access. Based on those input, we can monitor the overall project schedule, either using periodic performance review with all our teams, and maybe we can use project management software so that we can monitor and make resource optimization. So how we can use this? Project manager can request additional people when they feel that one task is maybe very late and we need to speed up a particular task to compensate delay in other tasks so that we can catch up the overall project deadline. There are many things that may affect the project schedule. Of course, we need to understand this reality. First, we need to review and draft the schedule carefully and estimated completion date as we did before. And using software, we can assist in time management and make adjustment if you like. And of course, by monitoring the project schedule, you can prepare a more detailed schedule with the project team. For example, after the first phase of the project period, now we have to move to the second phase, and previously probably we didn't make a detailed plan. Now it is time to make a detailed plan for the second phase. And then make sure the schedule is realistic and can be followed, understood easily by our team. Of course, it is very important to get support from top management in advance. So we will get support from them and we will not having a problem or challenge from the top management. Of course, we should understand that there is always gap between planning and actual implementation, and we should make adjustment regularly. Okay, that's all the course for this project schedule management. So in summary, project time management is often cited as the main source of conflict on projects, and most IT projects exceed time estimate. This is the fact. So hopefully, based on this course, you can understand how to make a plan, define activities, sequence activities, estimate activity resources and duration, develop your own schedule, and how to control your own schedule. Thank you very much for seeing this video, and let me know if you have any questions by texting me or put your comment in our forum. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.